skeletal presence.
All right, it is Wednesday. It is noonish. Jess Cordery never got invited, but he's here anyway. It's time. It's time for the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in with, through my own mistake, two guest co-hosts today, which it's never been more fun. We have Ed John sitting in.
What up?
And Jess Cordery is in because I forgot about Jess and I brought Ed on, and now we're just going to have a show packed full of hosts.
And I'm easily forgettable, so I understand that.
Yeah. Well, you guys, it confused me because you guys have the same haircut.
We look a lot alike, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
we
little bit.
I'm underdressed.
Yeah, I don't want to be negative or anything.
You got it? Yin and yang going on? Right here?
Yeah, a little bit.
See that?
If you start getting in that little ball together, there's going to be a problem.
That's not happening.
Just because there's not that much room in here. So
There's not.
okay, we're off to a running start. We were better than this before we went live.
I screw it up and I have two co-hosts. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, I'll blame it on two co-hosts.
Followed immediately by a racist joke.
We're getting a phone call already. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
I wonder if it's the King of Wakanda.
It is the King of Wakanda calling.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. This is Life. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I was calling. I had a question for the co-host today.
Which one?
Jess.
Jess.
Yes.
Co-host
Hey.
Jess.
Well, screw you too.
I got something for you in my pants now. Here's what we got going on. I have a neighbor that I cannot stand. She's always bickering and complaining. Do you have any advice for me?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cheese in someone's tailpipe.
Cheese.
Yes, preferably a Gouda or or.
I think he's in the tailpipe now. If you heard that.
Yes. Where are you calling from?
You're talking about the tailpipe of the car, right?
Yeah. Well,
Otherwise, because that creates a heck of a blockage.
I'm door dashing. That's what I'm doing right now. So have you ever had a neighbor like that you just couldn't stand?
Oh yeah, I have on a number of occasions. Most of the times, I just do things like let bugs out and underneath their house. Just nothing that'll get you convicted of a felony, and nothing that's real sticky. But I understand where you're coming from.
See, I have some. I can weigh in on this too because there for a long time I had a neighbor that I hated him, he hated me, and one of my favorite things to do was he parked his truck out where I could get to him. He couldn't see his truck from his house because he liked to park kind of in front of my house. So what I do, I work in HVAC, so I get some of these big old conduit straps for the flex duct. And I wrap that around his drive shaft. So you do about 5 of them, and as soon as he starts to drive his truck, it's just going to about 150 miles an hour. Yep.
That's hilarious.
What does this lady do to you to make you so annoyed?
She just complains about, I need to water my grass more because it's not bright green. She lives across the street from me. So, older lady, probably in her 70s or so.
Oh, it's even better to do that with those panduit straps, with those tie straps, because then she'll have a heart attack and you won't have to worry about her anymore.
Right. Okay, excellent idea.
Heart attack. We've crossed the line.
Hey, we get dark here sometimes. I'm just saying. How permanent do you want? How permanent a solution do you want?
Well, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to shut her up, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you can. I am always cheese in the tailpipe. You can take it literally. You can take it figuratively. Either way,
or you can shove some cheese
in the tailpipe.
Yeah.
That's
what about mothballs? Would those work?
What?
Mothballs.
In your tailpipe?
That'd
be kind of cool when they blow out of there.
That could be interesting.
Might think there's something wrong with the car.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about moths. That's a big plus, right?
Very true.
That's
Very
true.
true.
Yeah. No. That's all.
Do you really have to worry about moths eating your bumper a lot though, or your tailpipe?
That's a white person problem.
Yeah, I've never.
Yeah, black people don't have a problem with moths. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, not a lot of mothballs in your tailpipe.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
That's a white person
I
problem.
won't fall for the open end of my tailpipe.
All righty then.
I can identify a white person problem pretty readily.
great job. Great job. Yeah, you called it.
Yeah. Well, I figured since she was old, the mothball, she probably wouldn't think much of it, is what I was getting at.
Yeah, that's true. That's
she is
true.
Kind of musty.
Yeah,
they use them in their closet and everywhere. So,
Is she hot?
She's 70, so probably.
Caring about what your neighbor thinks of you is also a white person problem. My neighbor doesn't like me. That's a white person problem.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, see, my neighbor didn't like me, but that's because I didn't like them.
Some people are just bitter in life, and that's just how it is.
Yes, and always think positive. Do whatever you put your mind to, and be confident. That's
Very good.
The sky's the limit. Your attitude determines your altitude.
Man,
you're the
we're like a motivational poster in here today.
Wow. Well, if you guys need a third co-host, I'll come on down and help you out today.
All right. I think we're okay for now, but hey, I might hit you up for next week.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the call.
Did we ever identify who's on the phone?
No, we haven't. It's a mystery. I'm trying to keep it that way so I don't have to bring him in as co-host. I forgot you were still on the phone. I thought I hung up on you already.
Hang up.
That's not right. That's not right. We appreciate you calling in.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
And that's what I get for posting the number on my Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. So have you had a neighbor like that? Because my neighbor, when I first moved in, actually had their dog trained to poop in my yard. And then complained that I didn't cut my grass enough. It's like, it's your fertilizer that's causing the problem. If you teach your dog where to poop, I wouldn't have to worry about either problem.
No.
That's why you keep your dog chained to the tree. They got that diameter that they can only walk. That's it.
See, I have a dog, and I have both of my dogs. I had 2 dogs at the time, and they both pooped in my backyard, where a dog's supposed to. In my well, not all dogs, but my dog's supposed to go in my backyard. Well, he trained his dog to poop in my front yard and on my driveway. So I came home from work. I was working 12-hour shifts at the time.
He trained his dog to walk to your yard.
To do that, because I saw him out there shooing his dog over to my yard. This is before I moved, because I've known this guy for years. It used to be my grandmother's house. Known him for a long time. And he actually had his dog trained to poop over there.
So does he go pick it up out of your yard, or he just like,
oh, no.
shit over there?
He goes over that yard. He don't have to pick it up. It's not his yard. Well, I got it for him one day, because I came home after a 12-hour shift. I was in kind of a sour mood, and I stepped out of my Jeep right into a pile of his dog's mess. So I went and grabbed a shovel, and I went through my whole yard, and everywhere there was a piece from a dog, I put it on the end of that shovel and slapped it up on the side of his white vinyl siding. His house was speckled.
One way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't like me.
One way to do it.
But I came out about an hour later, and he's got a garden hose, and he's cussing and spraying off the side of his house. I said, what happened? Did your dog blow up?
Some big birds. Some big birds.
And you know what? The next time I saw his dog running over to my yard, I saw him running after it to grab it. Never happened again. So it took care of the problem in my own creative way.
That's wild.
I'm trying to think about I've only had one neighbor, because I've only lived in one house that actually had a house next to it. And he would always watch me try to fix something, and I'd fail miserably, cut myself, my hand, and he'd come over. Hey, let me show you how to do this. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. $45, please.
Oh, wow.
Wow. He charged you seriously?
Oh, yeah. He used to work on mansions in Oakwood. He was great.
Wow,
I mean, the stuff he did was stuff, but yeah, I'd hurt myself constantly.
Just to get him to come over and do it for you?
No, just because I'm incompetent.
Like, okay. Well, that works
People
too.
look at things like you saying your HVAC. You look at things and go, hey, I wonder how I fix that. I'm like, who do I have to call to fix that?
Yep. Who takes care of that crap? My dad actually knew my neighbor for years, because that used to be my mom's parents' house. Well, of course, when my dad was dating my mom in high school, my dad worked in a service station. So he'd come over there, and about every other time he'd come over there, this guy who lived there at the time would have the hood up on his car saying, come here and look at this, to my dad. My dad finally, he'd just walk over the car going, and walk away. Like, you're not getting free repairs, you jerk. Bring it into the station like everybody else has to do.
How about any neighborhood issues with you, Ed?
Neighbor? Never had any neighbor problems.
Really?
Never.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, black people don't have neighbors. That's why they call it the hood.
Oh, okay. So they're not neighbors.
Yeah.
It's like not like howdy neighbor. It's
right. They
similar,
live over there. They live over there.
Yeah.
They live over there. Don't talk to those kids.
Yeah. Well, did you have certain kids or just all of them?
I had cousins who lived down the street, but neighbors.
Down the street, but not
No.
neighbors. Okay.
For real, black people, we don't have neighborhoods. We have hoods.
You
no
just
neighbors.
eliminated the neighbors.
Yeah, there are no
altogether.
neighbors. It's the hood.
Okay. Well, you learn something new every day.
That's why I'm on this show today, to teach.
I appreciate
to
that. I
teach the
really do,
masses.
because I'm like neon white. I'm so white.
We're
Ed,
gonna
so
get it done.
I really
Was
appreciate.
it like my neighborhood where anybody in the neighborhood could beat you if you were acting a fool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, my
Yeah,
neighborhood was
that's-
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a village to beat
Yeah,
a child.
we had neighbors that would sit out on their lawn just to see if you screwed something up, so they could be it was like a race to see who'd get over there to whoop your butt first. And I was like, My dad was quick too, so he usually beat all of them.
Yeah. Snitches. We had
And
a lot
then
of
he
snitches.
handed me over to the rest.
We had a lot. That's what my neighbors, the people in our hood, that's what they taught us, how to snitch. They would snitch quick. Like, you
Oh,
would do
wow.
something like 2 o'clock, your mom knew by like 2:30, and she was at work.
Oh, that ain't right.
Nah.
Yeah.
Snitches.
Get stitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a lot of my neighbors too. But I think back then, neighbors actually talked to each other. They don't do that now because everybody's paranoid. I think everybody's paranoid about everything, so no neighbors even speak to each other. I've lived in my house for, I think, about 15 years. I've lived
That's
in my
because
house.
people
now.
aren't interesting.
That's true. I am, but nobody talks to me.
People aren't interesting at all, which is like, sometimes it's a good thing not to talk to people because, like, what are you going to learn from this person that you didn't learn from the other person? Like, people are clones. So,
Yeah, that's it.
See,
Yeah.
the way I do it, when I first move into a neighborhood, I typically slam back a 12-pack of Miller Lite, and I go door to door, and I introduce myself and just talk for them and let
which
them.
would be cool, but in our neighborhood, we think you were weird. Why is this white man on my porch?
Yeah, the witnesses are back.
Yep.
You don't go over in the suit and tie, do you?
No,
Because they
typically
will
on the
think
bicycle.
they will think you're involved with the church.
It's typically a tie-dye T-shirt and some cut-off shorts and a bandana.
You're an undercover cop. That's
And
what we're
Miller
gonna
Lite, yes. Yeah, they're thinking.
Undercover cop.
Well, I don't normally bring the Miller Lite with them. I just do that
Oh,
just to-
okay.
just to see how they react to a guy reeking of booze and all that good stuff.
Booze, is that
Well,
really
Miller
what the...
Lite, I guess not booze.
Yeah,
You
okay,
know,
okay.
beer.
I thought there was another more skunky smell.
no.
Oh, okay.
Not that I mind, but no.
Like, Don, I was going to walk to your house one day, but you had a bunch of in your yard.
Yeah,
No, we can't say that on the radio, right?
Oh,
Yard. My
Yard,
yard. We
yes,
can't
yard.
talk about my yard on the... Don't you talk about my yard.
completely forgot.
Yeah.
that's
it.
okay.
Beep that out.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll go back and fix that in post, Ed. Before I turn, you all right over there? Okay.
Got that one. Good stuff to do, but you got that.
We'll fix that in post on live radio. That's what. I actually had a guest in once that said that. Apparently didn't realize we were live broadcast, and she dropped the F-bomb probably 15 times in a 45-minute interview, which was supposed to be an hour and a half, and after 45 minutes, I just cut the feed. I said, all right, we're done for the day. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Because you had to edit so much?
Well, I had to hit we have the little delay button
Yeah.
over here that I can drop the feed for 10 seconds. So I had to hit that so many times. It never even built up to the full 10 seconds. I had to hit it again. So, yeah, I was like, okay,
You know the
we're
delay
done.
button was actually invented because of Richard Pryor?
I can see that.
Yeah, Saturday Night
I didn't
Live.
know that.
Saturday Night
You know,
Live.
I
wanted him
always
to
thought it
host.
was Janet.
No, they wanted him to host the first episode. And they were like, okay, we know how this guy gets down on stage. So
Yeah.
we need to have a preventative measure. Yeah, it was Richard Pryor.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
World would have been a lot better place if they'd have thought of that during the Super Bowl with Janet Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My
It was
dad's got
just
a
fine.
picture of it hanging in his garage.
I don't see the problem.
I don't either. Well, it's pretty much covered, you know. It was like a pasty, but I don't know what exactly it was. It was some metal thing there. if you recall.
Not that I've Google imaged it 100 times, but it was a little. It looked like a sunburst.
Yes.
It was a sunburst. There was a lot of sunshine.
We were confirming.
Yep. Oh, it was a sun.
Look at God answering prayers on the Super Bowl. Look at God. Look at God.
Yep. What game?
I'm losing $25,000 on this game. But titties.
But that's okay, because look at there. That's
Winning.
Jess right there. I've been wanting to see that for years.
And it ain't bad, folks. It ain't bad at all.
Janet,
When's she coming back?
I'm good with that. If it had been Tito, there'd have been a problem.
That'd have been a
Janet,
problem.
no, we're good.
Yeah.
Nobody's digging that.
No.
Oh.
There's a reason they call them lazy Sundays. There's nothing better than sitting around and enjoying the comforts of a good book. But what book should that be? Well, every Sunday, Eventide brings you The Bookseller, hosted by Jessica Gillen. Each week, Jessica breaks down a different book and tells you everything you need to know before cracking it open and getting lost in a whole new world. Tune in every Sunday for The Bookseller with Jessica Gillen, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
All right, we are back. I was going to play something else, but then it caught me off guard because it, that commercial ended sooner than I had hoped.
Abruptly, would you say?
Abruptly, yes. We're back on the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in with my double co-hosts today. Double guest co-host, double secret, top secret guest co-host. And the secret is out. Ed John is sitting in with Jess Cordery as well.
Yes.
Who's leaning back like he's way too cool to be here and in his tie.
Yes, well, I am currently working for DCS Technologies.
Oh, you are giving a shout out. Wow.
Yes. For all your answers to printing and copying needs, come to DCS and ask for Jess.
All right. There you go.
I went there, folks.
Yep. Well, I'm going to make you pay for that advertising space as soon as we're off the air again. But we continue to talk about Nabels.
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 We
Jim
can
Nabels.
talk about Nabels.
Go Nabel. Beat Army.
Oh, you can be.
I
But
am,
no,
baby.
we continued to talk about neighbors, and I was telling you guys about the weed war, which to me that was the greatest thing because it just that thing it got about 3 feet tall before he finally come out and hacked it down because it was right on the property line. It's not as fun the second time, is it? See, you guys heard this story. Oh, my stories are old.
New bit.
Yeah. I got to get new material. Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, the way you set it up the first time about how he mowed around the weed,
Yeah.
and then you mowed around the weed, and it was about a battle of constitution, fortitude.
We can drop it. It's done.
It's dead. Yeah, it's dead. No saving it.
We're done. We went down that path. We should see. We got to save the funny stuff for when we're not on the break, and that's the problem. Is we just aren't as funny when
No
we're
talking
on the air.
rules.
But we learned something about you, though.
I have
That's-
another
think that's
call
cool.
coming in.
Take the call.
Yeah. I hope it's the king. Let's see who we got this time. This is the life. You're on the air. You can stop poking buttons.
Seth.
Yes.
Hey, it's Lee over in the Student Union.
Hey, how's it going, Leo?
I'm pretty good. Hey, I'm getting ready to do a FUPload, and on my FUPload is your Veterans Voices.
Oh! We can't say those words. Easy.
I'm taking money from you, Seth. But anyway, the Veterans Voices project a couple weeks ago, Pam flagged it. It's billed to your general account. She says she thought it should be your foundation, but wanted me to check with you.
Are you talking to me about who is this?
Lee in the Student Union.
I think you might have.
I think you might have the wrong number. I appreciate any support for veterans. I am pro-veteran, as you know.
Absolutely.
How is your number tied to Seth in the vets? Did I call the wrong number?
Oh, you know what? Oh, Lee. Oh, I'm sorry, Lee. Yeah, I know who you are. Hey, are you the guy with the Persian shirt?
The Persian shirt.
Yes. Have you ever been in a cockpit before?
Do you actually know who this is, or you just? Oh, okay.
I was calling Seth Gordon.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you.
Do you like movies about gladiators?
Seth Gordon sounds like a superhero. Seth Gordon sounds like a
we're actually
superhero.
on the air. This is
Okay,
a strange radio show that
You
you
called a room
happen to
full
call
of
it.
comics.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
So, yep. All right.
Seth Gordon,
Hey,
come
Sorry
on,
about
guys.
that. I
Next
don't
week
even know how I
on.
called that number.
Okay. Well, hey, call back anytime. We always enjoy it.
Thank you.
See, I thought it was somebody you knew at first, but
No,
it wasn't.
They wouldn't drop F-bombs.
Should have kept
Well,
going.
he said "fup."
Oh,
Yeah,
did he say
fuck-
fuck?
Yes,
Fuckload.
yes.
Fuckload.
I
Yeah.
thought he
Yeah.
was cursing.
Oh,
Man said fuckload.
You know, I
well,
work,
no, I would have stopped him.
I work blues, so I'm like, whoa, watch your mouth.
You should have improv.
See,
the hell
you
out of that.
automatically went there. See,
I
that's
go-
I
what?
tell you.
You just say yes, and.
yes,
you just
and
go.
yeah, there you go. It's improv.
Yeah, you should have just.
That's
yes,
I thought it
and
was
him.
one of my friends when I heard what I thought was
Right.
Fupload. I'm like, oh, this has got to be one of my friends.
Yeah.
You know, dropping that. I'm like,
Oh.
no,
Hey,
watch
we're on
your
the radio,
language.
dude.
We're on the radio. Yeah. Then when I realized if somebody just dialed the wrong number, then I want to have fun with you because when that happens at my house,
Oh yeah.
I immediately go to the airplane mode.
How unlucky do you have to be to dial the wrong number and it be this show?
First of all, how do you not know? You just dialed into the life with Don Smith. Like, how do you not know?
Well, I answer the phone. This is the
That's-
life you're on the air.
That's like accidentally calling the Breakfast Club and getting Charlamagne the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking for Hank.
the guy he was calling must have been a prankster, and that's why he didn't realize when he said, "This is the life you're on the
Yeah,
air."
this is
He just
Charlamagne.
kept.
This is Charlamagne. What's going on? Me and Denzel Washington. What's going on? What's your question? Good morning.
Oh, that's fantastic. We need more wrong numbers, folks. Call.
Please.
Now, we did have
You just got
somebody
the
call
White House.
in. Yeah, we
Yep.
did have a rapper call in
I was
one
here
day.
for that.
Were you here for
Yeah.
that? We had a rapper call in one day. I can't remember his name, but he was asking if he could come in for an interview. I was like, well, you're live on the air. What do you want to talk about?
He gave us his Twitter
Yeah.
handle.
Oh, yeah, he went with it. He was cool.
Yeah, I remember that. I was pretty impressed by that guy.
Completely impromptu interview.
It was me, Scotty Mays, and the one guy who's the big fanboy of Nicolas Cage.
Oh, okay, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle Steele. Yeah. Fanboy.
That was hilarious.
I don't know how to play. I couldn't remember
Yeah,
that. Sorry,
Kyle
Kyle.
Steele, the fanboy.
I know we're friends on Facebook. Forgot your name. I'm
Yeah,
horrible
I
with
think
names.
that's the name of his podcast.
Sorry,
is
Ron.
Fanboy.
Check out my Fupload.
Yep.
Check me out on my Fupload.
Upload a fanboy. That is the name of this episode. Right? Let me get my pen out. I gotta write that down. Upload a fanboys. I hope everybody out there
So
in
I'm
Radio
fumbling
Land.
somebody.
I hope everybody out there in Radio Land, including the FCC, know this is FUP, Fupload. Because I just want to make it absolutely
That
clear.
sounds like when you upload a porn.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
a Fupload is.
So how often do you do that?
It's got to be.
Okay.
That's like the ultimate
Yeah.
like hashtag.
Yeah.
Fupload.
Oh, we are in so much
Fupload
trouble.
come to
'cause that's good.
iTunes.
Why is that not a website domain already?
Right.
Yeah, there's
Fupload. You heard it here first.
There's the name of this episode. Fupload of fanboys. Oh,
Does
man.
anyone know the definition of this word? I am so
we just made
intrigued.
it up.
Yep.
We own
Google.
it.
Google
Yeah.
Fup.
We got it now. We know. That's our
Google
shit.
that stuff, man. Phew, I don't even know if I want to go to news stories now. We're having so much fun with this. Whoever that was.
Fupload goes public. Offers up an initial offering.
Yeah, we better
Fupload is now publicly owned.
we better be careful. It's going to slip out accidentally here in a minute.
Facebook just bought Fupload
A Pornhub.
$45.
Per share? Was that for the whole thing?
No, that's it.
That was it?
I'm the owner, CEO, and founder of Fupload.
You need a sales
All
rep.
50 shares.
Well, yeah, you got free advertising, so here we are.
Fupload.com.
Upload.
Contact
Get it
Jeff.
today.
And we're done.
Hello, you be Fupload. How may I help?
Yep, download a Fupload. That's hashtag download a
Hey, John, we got a customer on the phone.
What's he
How
looking
many
for?
shares we got?
We got a
Can I get me some of that there Fupload? I'd like a couple bottles of it. Bet it goes good with French fried potatoes and
How many bottles of fuck load?
I'll take a big one.
About 35 people at this party. Y'all cater?
Man, I'm about to have to take a break. I'm laughing so hard I'm sweating, man. So are you.
So am I.
Right.
I'm sweating like a pregnant nun. I'm doing some fuck load.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, we've gone off the rails.
Happens every time.
Oh. I didn't even know black people use fuckload.
Man.
Beautiful.
How do we top that with news stories?
The
I
live
don't think
radio
we
show.
can. Yep, the live radio show. A fuckload of fun.
He said a fuckload.
For the whole family.
Phew. All right. Do we want to hit some news stories, or do we have anything left?
Hit
Did we run
news
out of
story
gas
number
already? Please, let's move on to something else.
Beep, 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 beep.
I need a drink. All right.
I'm done.
Ed is done. We've worn him out.
I don't even smoke.
All right. Well, we'll hit some news stories, Ed. How about that?
News stories.
Life is rolling a little easier for Caramel the squirrel these days, despite getting his front limbs
racist
caught in a trap. What's that?
That's some racist
Yes. He's a brown squirrel, I'm guessing.
The caramel squirrel. What? What?
Not a caramel squirrel. Caramel the squirrel. His name is Caramel with a K.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, Caramel's paws were surgically removed after the tragedy where he was caught in a trap, which happened near Batman, Turkey. That's why I put that in there, Batman, Turkey, which is a place I'd like to visit. I'm Batman, Turkey. Anyway, according to the Turkish newspaper Daily Sabah, although squirrels without their limbs have a slim chance of survival in the wild, Caramel is getting a hand from a group of animal-loving scientists at Istanbul University.
Getting a hand.
A couple of them.
Getting a hand.
Yep. Actually, not really. Orthopedists at the university built Caramel a set of prosthetic wheels to replace his missing front paws. Caramel is believed to be the first squirrel to be given prosthetics. No kidding. So kind of like the dogs that get paralyzed and they put the little wheels on the back of them. This is a squirrel that has them on the front.
All goes well until you get a blowout on the highway.
The squirrel tries to cross the street.
Yeah, every time he tries to leap to another tree, he just rolls on down.
That seems like torture, putting wheels on a squirrel. What madman would think of that? I mean, that's just insane. I'm going to put wheels on a squirrel.
That's a squirrel that's not getting hit. I bet you. That's a squirrel that's not getting hit.
Does it have brakes, or does it just roll?
Yeah, we got handbrakes.
It's green.
Hey. Hold on. We got to drop that out real quick, Ed.
It's green. Go.
It's green Fruppo.
Go. That thing needs a horn, mirrors.
All those wheels.
Oh.
I mean, think about all this. You can just mess up a lot of animals if you just start throwing wheels on random stuff.
Or you can improve a lot of animals.
I want wheels on a badger. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing good can come of this. What? Now they're going to put tank tracks on an elephant? There's just bad news. Science is getting a little out of control.
Yeah, whatever it is, humans will fix it.
They need an auto shop for squirrels.
What if they start putting auto sound, auto tune on animals alive? I mean, it's craziness, but I like it. It's chaos.
I just keep picturing him trying to jump to another tree.
Well, he doesn't live in trees anymore, though. He's a highway animal now. He doesn't live in
He's
trees.
a road
He's out that
squirrel.
life. Yeah. He's done with that.
Yeah, but he's a road squirrel nowadays.
No more trees. Evolutions. Hell of a drug.
Yeah.
You are the 6 cent.
Someday we'll all be born with wheels, all because of this squirrel.
Squirrel.
Instead of the $6 billion man, you got the 6 cent squirrel.
The $1.35 squirrel.
They build him better than before.
Just slightly.
And then you know there's going to be a squirrel with rims.
Yeah. Well,
Here they go with spinners.
every time. Yeah, low profiles. Yeah, I want one with hydraulics.
Is that squirrel smoking a cigarette?
Yeah.
Oh.
See, well, my question is, they'll eat with their hands. They kind of grab their nuts.
Yeah.
Yep. How's he going to do that with wheels? It just keep rolling off.
Maybe he can detach and one's a spatula. Like, little, he has like an accessory pack.
He's a squirrel.
He's going to end up eating other squirrels.
Yeah, if he's a squirrel,
He
he's
doesn't
not a
need hands.
supervillain.
Well,
He's going to eat other squirrels. He just goes up to them parks and eats them.
Yep, he'll be the squirrel godfather. He'll have all these different attachments where his paws used to be.
Yeah, he'll make the nuts and off with the camera fuse.
Never go against the family.
Never go against the family, Mike. Never go against your family.
Oh,
Sonny's a hothead.
Fredo,
It pains me.
I never wanted this for you.
Fredo's the squirrel that's over there banging his head into that other tree.
I always expected it to be
Michael, you
Santini.
never get for your kids, Michael.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Okay, we've got the squirrel father.
Did you know Squirrel
The
Father?
squirrel father.
That's not even right.
Yep. Someday I will ask you for a favor, and that day may never come. Never have you invited me to your tree for some nuts.
But this day, on my daughter's wedding,
We've broken Ed.
Get rid of the camera.
We've broken Ed. Man, we're having fun today. Moving on. Want to keep that passion in the relationship?
not particularly.
Try it. Me either. Next story.
Not as long as we got side chicks.
I'm wearing a ring. I think that's about as passionate as I need.
It's done.
As long as there are women in Pickwa.
Barely. I have a campsite in Pickwood. It's real hard to find them up there. Every now and then you'll see one coming down the river in a canoe, and that's where the fun starts when you're camping in Pickwa. I'm serious. I have my brothers and I own about 10 acres right along the Miami River and just north of Pickwa.
Not bragging or anything.
Huh? No, it's a humble brag.
I ain't got my 40 acres or my mule yet.
Nope, it's only 10 acres, Ed. Gee.
And it is Pickwa.
and it's Pickwa. Plenty of mules, but a lot of them are coming down in canoes. No, we were out there fishing one day, and we heard a bunch of ruckus, somebody coming down in a canoe. And so we kind of hid back behind to see what was going on. It was this guy coming down the river as drunk as can be. Like this canoe, if he'd have moved the wrong way, they'd have both been swimming. And this girl that was like two of him coming down in this canoe, both just totally trashed. And and of course, the next thing I know, this girl's just ripping her shirt off while this guy gets out of the canoe to go, relieve himself. And he comes back and he just looks at her and says, I ain't into all that. It was so hard to keep from laughing.
That's actually a crime in some parts of the country.
It should have been
BUI,
there.
yeah. Voting under the influence.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. But I don't think it was Pickwa. I don't think they cared.
Pickwa.
Anyway.
I think you can boat and drive in Pickwa. Or boat and float. Boat and float, I guess. It's not boat and drive.
Boat and drive.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
boat and
I
float.
ain't been drinking. I always drive my boat here.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really got myself in a box there. Nowhere to go.
Or in
huh?
a boat.
Yeah, a boat, yeah.
Anyway, we'll move along. Want to keep the passion in the relationship? Try adding a robotic sex doll. That's the recommendation of Spanish inventor Sergey Santos, who created a sex doll equipped with the latest advancements in artificial intelligence. Samantha is designed to respond to gentle seduction. As a result, the 39-year-old electrical engineer said the bot allows him to get sexual release when his partner of 16 years, Maritza Kisimataki, isn't in the mood. And her name's Kisimataki. You would think.
Well, let's talk about these sex robots because I think they're a good idea. I think they're a good idea
until there's a short circuit.
I mean, it's not like women don't have those already. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but it's a lot easier to get electrocuted when your junk is in a robot.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I think they're a good idea. I never use one, but I do think. I mean, it's about options.
No,
yep.
I do have a question. Does it say sensual way with the robot?
That's responds to gentle seduction.
Gentle seduction. How does it respond to a fish hook and a Chuck Taylor tennis shoe right in the butt as you're giving it the business?
And why do you have to seduce it? Why do you have to seduce
right.
it?
Well, you shouldn't. It's a robot. You shouldn't have to work that.
No, don't use whips and all kinds of stuff. I mean, get crazy.
Woman, I'm home.
Exactly. Drag around by its hair.
At 3:45 every day, you should be next to the door
with the robot, just in case.
Exactly. Well, you'll know without a good day or bad day by who gets hit first.
I don't sign on to that joke.
Yep, that joke was brought to you by Jess Cordery. Where is that you work again?
If you hit the robot and she's like, your force increased 3.5% from yesterday.
Oh. Like it has a little thing like on Rocky IV when he's rocking the Russian. He's getting more. I must break you.
Somebody's mad today.
See, but I actually read this whole article, and nowhere in there was a quote from his wife.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But women have to deal with machines.
We had this discussion before. On this radio show, well, not the three of us, but I've brought this up before. This is actually a new article about a guy that's actually done this stuff before, and we were kind of discussing before how he would have to have, since he's an engineer and he builds these things, there would have to be spare parts just laying around his workshop.
That makes sense.
Wouldn't there be like just a torso? Would he really need to build the whole thing?
You do need to build the whole thing because it gives your wife more to be jealous about.
That's true. That's
an entire body.
What if your wife's an amputee?
Kneecaps.
Would it be insulting?
Kneecaps.
Would it be insulting to her if he built one with two legs?
I mean, think about it. Men have had to deal with machines for like years now. Vibrators, nothing but a machine. When you break it all the way down, we've been competing with the vibrator for years now. Now women have a machine they have to contend with. Go get it. Karma.
Well, I'd like to say I got something that outkicks a vibrator, but that would be a lie.
Nobody's
lawnmowers?
Nobody's out competing a vibrator. Nobody.
That's true because we can't get that fast action.
Right. So now you got like a whole physical body that they have to contend with now.
Yeah.
That can speak back and talk back.
That's not the good thing.
Yeah.
That's just bad.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But it still seems like a lot of work, if they respond to,
Now, is this battery or something you got to charge? Or is it just have a cord attached to it? I'm assuming it's wireless.
Oh, well, the guy's name is Sergey Santos. Lives in Catalonia, Spain, and they sell for around $2,834 to $7,000 a piece, which is really a small price to pay.
Yeah, $7,000 ain't that bad.
Well, yeah, considering what you're getting.
Yeah, $7,000 is not that bad.
A Mac computer costs not too far from that.
Because now the laws have to change, too, because, like, the government can't be like, hey, your robot wife can't show up at work. Imagine the possibilities of these things.
So you're saying you want the robot wife showing up at work?
Hell yeah, I want my sex doll coming to work. Like, hey, babe, I got you a sandwich. Hell yeah. Why not? Why
Winning.
Not? Yeah. I do. That would, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of, I haven't really put that much thought into it.
Well, it's a whole world, like infinite possibilities now when you get these robot women. It's like, it's an infinite world now. Like, I want her to be in the passenger seat of my car when I'm driving. You know what I mean? And you can just hang out with her everywhere you go.
Well, that'd be fine if you could turn it
Because
off.
it's property. It's property. It's property. It's the same thing white people say when they had slaves. It's the same thing white people say when they had slaves. Oh, this is
so
my
what
property.
you're saying is robot is the new black.
Hey, low-key, sex slaves are the new slaves.
Wow. We got real deep.
Yeah.
It's a brand new world.
It is.
I'm
It
all for
is.
sex dolls.
Yeah.
I was finally thinking there was something in this world that could hook me up while I was eating Chick-fil-A. But now I'm thinking, wow, a robot doesn't have rights.
No, it doesn't. No.
Okay, then we win.
I mean, yeah, you can't get arrested for beating your robot.
I mean, artificial intelligence is intelligence.
But it's artificial.
Oh,
I mean, that's just a label.
That's true.
Just
that's
a
true.
label.
Well, that's kind of saying.
Who
like,
are we
that,
to define what's artificial and
That's
what's not?
kind of saying that breast implants aren't real breasts.
Yeah.
So where do we draw the line?
You don't. You don't.
You don't. You just get your sex robot and you have
There
your
you go.
own
And
line.
check the weather because they can't do rain. Just check the weather.
Right.
There's an 80% chance today.
Yeah.
Stay your ass in the house.
Yeah, and your dog with a shock collar.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, you want a dog with a shock collar and
I'm done. And let me know
a
every
sex
time there's a new
robot
fuck
with a
load.
remote control.
I need fuckload updates for you.
That's what you would call having sex with a sex robot. Is a fuck.
Fuckload. See? It's coming to life. We just got to keep talking.
Exactly. Did you hear that, Sergey Santos? I know you're listening. You need to jump on that now and buy Fupload.com.
Fuckload. Hashtag fuckload.
Get on GoDaddy.
that's what I was trying to think
That's
of.
what you tell your robot. Get on.
Let's get on GoDaddy.
Get on your daddy. That's the most ignorant shit I've heard all day. Get on your daddy.
Be on that papa.
Yep, because he's Spanish. There you go.
Good one, Don.
Thank you.
Hola. Ándale. Rápido.
Wow. I can't even read the rest of
What
this
are we
stuff.
on, number 4?
We're at number 3. We've
Number
only
3.
gone through 2 news stories. It's a slow news day.
I'm a slow guy.
A woman applying for a job at a New Hampshire county jail has been arrested because it turns out she was wanted on a charge in Maine. Police say Christina Hoofs of Manchester applied for a job on Friday at the Hillsborough County Department of Corrections, but workers soon realized she was being sought on a theft-related offense in Maine. She was taken into custody and taken to police headquarters scheduled for arraignment on Monday. It's unknown if she has a lawyer. No phone number can be found for her. They were trying to hook her up, I guess.
So she had a record and went and applied for a job
applied
out of
to
jail.
work at a jail. Some of them make it easy, don't they? No. Yep. Do you need to do a background check?
Nah, you good. Don't do it. Nah, you good.
It just walk this way. There's one more part of this interview we're going to go through.
It's called handcuffs.
How long have you been swimming at the shallow end of the gene pool, honey?
What did you mean?
What do you think? Like, they just forgot about it? Like, it didn't happen. That was in 85. They don't know.
Yeah. They didn't say how long ago it was.
And it was
that
in
she
Maine?
It was in Maine. So I guess she figured she could get to New Hampshire. It's like crossing the border. She'd be
I
fine.
dyed my hair. We're
Yep, is there
good.
extradition from New Hampshire? I don't think so. All right, I'm there. They'll never bring me back to Maine on this card.
My disguise is clever enough. They'll never know it was me.
But I need a job.
What's your eye color?
Need a place to work.
Brown.
I need something with state benefits.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta
you gotta
get.
get it.
Some bennies.
The
Permanent
jail.
housing.
We'll go to the jailhouse.
Free
See if they're
rent.
hiring.
Retirement.
Yeah, I call that a win. One way or another, she's getting her meals and getting her retirement covered.
That is correct.
Well, I'm sure that I just I don't want to alarm you, but Holly Shock just flashed me her Pokemon.
I'm not turning around.
Do it, Ed. Do
I'm
it.
not turning around. Hi, Holly.
Turn around again, Jess. I just saw
twice. Yeah, I did twice.
I just saw something on your head.
Oh no, I tore myself up shaving.
Oh, okay.
This morning.
I thought you were a Japanese national.
I was going for like the Ving Rhymes Marcellus Wallace thing with the Band-Aid in the back.
You do know who Marcellus Wallace is, don't you?
Yeah.
Is he black? Does he look like? And we'll leave it at that. Yeah. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Of course,
your business associate, Marcellus Wallace.
Yes, you did, Brett. You tried to fugate him. Or
Say what again? Say what again?
So sorry, I nicked the back of my head shaving, so it was pretty
okay. Well, yeah,
bloody.
look, I didn't notice it at first till you turned around. It's like,
your
wow,
ass goes down.
I got it.
See, you're going to feel a little sting, but that's your pride, Brett.
Pride messing with you.
That's your pride. In the fifth, your
Been a
ass
long
goes
time
down.
since I've seen that. So.
Boxing ain't have no old timers, big bush.
All right. On that note, I think it's time to go ahead and take our top of the hour break, since the FCC pays attention to that. Hopefully they weren't listening to the rest of the show. They just tune in at the top of the hour. That's really the reason they want us to get off the air here at the radio station at the top of the hour. It's because that's the only time the FCC listens, I hope. All right. Well, let me cue up some. What kind of music you want, Ed?
A Pokemon, huh?
I told you. Holly showing you her Pokemon.
What do we want?
You say
Pottersfield.
You say more Pottersfield.
I did not say more Pottersfield. No, I didn't.
I don't know what else I have, so I'm sure there's some stuff in there.
Anything from J. Cole. J. Cole.
Okay.
Yes, Pottersfield.
Yeah. All right, here comes some Pottersfield.
We got rights.
Yeah, I just don't have those songs.
Oh, man, this is hilarious.
Oh.
This is
I
funny.
can play the Blazing Saddles theme song. I wish I had that.
I mean, you know what it is, right?
Oh, yeah. That's the Italian wedding song.
Grazie.
Thank you, Godfather, for inviting me on the day of your daughter's wedding. And I hope the first child is a masculine child.
Yeah, let her, man. Let his dumb ass in.
All right, we're going to play.
Looks like we've got a mystery on our hands, folks. Mike Shea, along with Eventide Entertainment and the Neon Movie Theater, will be premiering his newest short film, Monarch, a neo-noir detective mystery set right here in the Gem City, Dayton, Ohio. The event will be held on Thursday, May 17th at 7:30 p.m., and you can be a part of the process. Just go to www.gofundme.com/Monarch Film Premiere, and you can donate to make this one real night to remember. Lots of rewards and gifts for those who donate, including free tickets, concessions, posters, and movie downloads. Tickets are only $5 and can be picked up at the Neon box office. Mark your calendars for May 17th. It's a night with the detective, and you don't want to miss it.
They say, see a broad to get that booty yak 'em? Leg her down or smack 'em, yak 'em. Cole got to be. Yo, shit.
All right. We are back on the live radio show. Why? Because we got nowhere else to go. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in. Still, my two guest co-hosts are still in here, Jess Cordery and Ed John.
What up?
Morning, everybody.
Fantastic job keeping me entered, which is the co-host job. That's really the only reason.
That doesn't sound quite
that's
right.
Your phone.
That doesn't sound
right.
We're not here. Are we really here to entertain the host?
Yes. Well,
pretty much.
Jess was just over here fup-loading a little bit ago.
Hashtag upload.
Yep. Our actual guest made it into the studio. Holly Shock. Holly Shock is in with us.
I'm glad to be here with you, Don, and the Fupload brothers.
You're Facebook Living, aren't you?
No. Why?
Okay.
Should I?
No, I was just asking. My pen just disappeared. No, I was just asking because you keep looking down over there. Is it?
No, I'm
something.
sorry.
Is there somebody else over there with you other than Ed?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Anybody down here? At the
Well, here's
Buffalo?
hoping. Here's hoping.
All right.
Welcome to the show again. You've been a regular guest.
Yeah, more or less.
A little
yeah,
while. It's been a little while.
One of these days, I'll actually remember where the place is.
Yeah, and you came in with the little flailing Pikachu of your own.
Yes, I did. My flailing Pikachu or flaming Pikachu.
Or flaming, could be either way.
Flaming and flailing.
Ooh ah.
What's up, Joe? What's up, Ed?
I don't think we should attach a tag to the Pikachu.
It should just be Pikachu
Let
by
it
itself.
identify
There should
as
be.
itself. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a tag on its butt.
Yeah, there is.
Pikachu.
Okay. Well, is it
Pikachu's
flaming
matter,
or
yes.
flailing?
And it's definitely flaming.
Okay.
It burns.
He may
now we know.
identify differently.
Now
you
we know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
He
Face
may
it
identify
away
differently.
from the huh?
He may identify as differently. You know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's the deepest thing I've heard.
Well, we've been deep all day.
Oh yeah.
We've been deep all day.
It's been
I know.
deep.
I could tell when I was driving here.
It has definitely been
You
deep.
guys were making me laugh so much, I missed my exit and ended up halfway to Cincinnati, and I turned back around. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it could be a Pikachu that identifies as like the turtle one, whatever that is.
Squirtle.
Oh,
Squirtle.
Gamera?
Yeah, Squirtle. No, Squirtle. He's right.
Squirtle.
He's
Yeah.
right. I just was seeing who would know that.
I was thinking
I'm
of
a
the
local
flaming...
Pokemon authority.
You are the Pokemon of Pokemon.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, I've poked.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's going the wrong way there.
Yep.
I poked a few men.
So you know your way around a Squirtle is what you're saying.
Yeah? That was a good comment.
Kind of got me in a box there.
So we're not going to be serious this show either. Okay.
No.
Oh, we were supposed to be serious for this?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
when
man.
that ever
I'm
happened?
sorry. Ed.
No.
I'm sorry. What would you...
Get used to
what would you-
disappointment.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
He looks,
He looks used
so
to it,
serene right now.
actually.
You're
Yeah,
very
yeah.
zen.
Yes, that kind of day.
Yeah.
That kind of day.
You
Is
all
the
right,
king
Ed?
not calling in today?
The king has not called in.
The king's
today.
not calling in today.
Oh.
I've been
Which
disappointed.
king?
We got
Herod? No, I'm sorry.
Don King.
Don King. Oh, okay.
Only in America.
Living in the
We got the
USA.
greatest of the greatest. Dr. King.
Dr. King.
Dr.
Oh.
Dr. King.
I can't
yes,
make
yeah.
jokes
Okay.
about him.
No Dr. King jokes.
That's right.
Gandhi
That's
can't
right.
make
That's right.
jokes about
That's right.
Gandhi.
That's right.
Now Malcolm X, yeah, but no,
Oh,
Stupid.
just kidding.
Oh, I'm totally fine. Totally fine. I wanted the king to call in today. I wanted to hear from the king.
Yeah. We haven't heard from the king yet.
That's
so.
King of Wakanda.
Yes.
oh, him, yeah.
Yeah. We typically get a call in the first hour of the show from the king of Wakanda, but
That's crazy.
yeah, but we haven't. I don't understand why.
That's crazy.
I would think he'd be more eager to call in with Ed here.
I wanted to meet the guy and
Yeah,
speak to him.
Yeah.
Maybe
He's
next
a
time.
pleasant guy. He's a big fan of the show. I hope he's listening right now.
That's what I
hope.
hear.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Big deal. The
Yeah,
life.
not
radio.
much of a comic, but
Oh, the
The live
king
radio
of... King,
is,
okay.
Yeah,
Well, he's getting
loves
ready
the
to fight
show.
Galactus or somebody, isn't he? No.
that could be.
No.
Could be.
Gamera.
I don't know.
No, that movie, that
Squirtle.
Marvel.
Could be
Marvel,
back to
Marvel,
Squirtle
yeah.
Infinity War.
already. I don't
Yeah, that comes... I'm so excited to see that one.
That would be Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
Wow.
Sorry.
Have you seen Black Panther yet, Holly?
You're a nerd.
No, I'm going...
Holly has not seen Black Panther, but she's talking about Infinity War.
But I will go see Black Panther before I see Infinity War. I
Damn
promise.
right.
Great movie.
Yeah,
Damn right.
I'm scared now.
I haven't seen it. So.
Oh,
I'm a slacker, Ed. You know that.
I
when
had
it comes
drove
to
an
movies,
Infinity once. I think it was a car called Infinity, wasn't there?
I think it was.
It's
Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
Panther, then Infinity War.
Okay.
That's the line
I
of
will.
Holly.
No, I'm going to
In
see it.
that
I promise.
order.
In that
I see
order.
it
In
every
that
day.
order.
Yes.
Don't be catching
Absolutely.
Black Panther on the matinee, but going to see Infinity War like the day it drops. Don't be Holly.
No, I'm going to go. I'm going to see Black Panther. Then I'm going to see Infinity War.
I need
in
to
the
see
same
2
day.
ticket stubs. Huh?
I'm going to see it in the same day.
Okay,
Yeah,
combo
he
type
wants
deal.
proof.
Oh,
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Ed don't mess around.
Cool.
He wants proof.
well, I know. I don't. I get scared.
Cool. I don't want to see a half price Black Panther ticket.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to see no $4.75 midday.
Well, I get my senior discount. now,
Midday,
though.
not
Oh,
no.
there you go.
Well,
Oh,
I mean, yeah,
you're
you
not
earn-
even
you
allowed
earn-
a senior.
she
You're not
earned
even
the
allowed
discount.
a senior
I'm
discount.
just
Yeah.
saying, I don't want to see a senior discount at a matinee ticket stub.
I did a lot of
Okay,
flub
so-
bluffing or whatever you call that word.
I need fuck loading.
Somehow I
Fuck loading.
believe that too.
Fuck loading. We're fuck loading today.
What'd you call it? Fun bluffing?
Flub
Is it?
bluffing.
Flub busting.
I don't know.
Flub busting.
Yeah, who you
We
gonna
out
call?
here trying to break records. We're out here trying to break records.
Well, there they are.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch behind you. Ed.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you
For
go.
the box office.
Oh, for Black Panther. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to
You,
come to you.
and the King are out
Breaking
trying to
records.
break some
Yep.
records. Okay.
I'm the American
Already
ambassador.
broken a lot of them, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it beat Titanic now.
Cool.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
but Titanic sunk, and they just not.
It did tank. It did tank.
You'd have to be out about 4 more years to catch Avatar, though. That's way,
Yeah,
way,
Avatar's
way
up there.
Which
Avatar's up there.
Which wasn't that good.
Which I'm sure I haven't
love
seen. I
Avatar.
haven't seen
That was
Black
good.
Panther. It's
I love
gotta be
Avatar.
better
That was the
than
first
Avatar.
Blu-ray I ever bought was Avatar.
Wow.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. And it's got Zoe Saldana in it.
Wow.
Okay, that's
Kinda
but
sorta.
yeah,
But
but
she's
still
sorta,
all
it's not
dressed
really
up.
her.
And, yeah, it's like it's
But
an Avatar
under
kind
that paint you can still see, you know, you can
No,
still
it's all CGI.
You can still-
Yeah.
you can still see.
I
was
got
like-
you. I got you.
Yeah.
I'm sort of feeling that, maybe.
Yeah, you know. Zoe.
Maybe.
Oh yeah. Gotta love Zoe. She
Yeah.
she
Oh,
was
yeah,
in
she's a
the
good
Star
one.
Trek, the
Yep,
ones that
the,
they
our
redid.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Both,
Guardians of the
actually.
Galaxy.
Star Trek and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and
So y'all seen Guardian of the Galaxy? You
Good
seen
morning.
that too?
I
huh?
did.
You seen that, but you haven't seen Black Panther.
Well, somebody made me watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've been
I
trying to
wasn't
make you
really a
watch Black
fan.
Panther for like 2 months now.
Yeah, but I'm not married to you, Ed.
Touche.
There's a difference.
Touche.
If my wife said, "Hey, let's go see Black Panther," guess what? We're going to see Black Panther.
Okay. Got to win the women
So
over.
yeah, you're going to have to get with her.
You gotta
and-
win the women
and,
over.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
she picks all of our movies.
He's being a good neighbor.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah,
That's the word
yeah,
you used a lot, too, earlier.
Yeah,
Neighbor.
yeah.
He is not a good neighbor. Did you listen to the first show?
I'm a great
Yeah.
neighbor.
Petty. He's the
I
pettiest.
had a bad neighbor, so I turned into a bad neighbor to him. My
If he
neighbors
thinks-
on the other side, totally cool. Never had a problem with.
If he thinks
All right.
it's a bad neighbor, you should see if I moved in the neighborhood.
Yep. Well, you were looking at that house too.
Yeah, I was looking at the house right next to his.
The house that the creepy guy lived
Yep,
in?
yep.
And did you know, yeah, it's in one of those little cul-de-sacs. It's so easy just to put a gate across the front and have a nice little gated
Okay.
Yeah,
house
yeah,
community.
yeah. There you go.
Gate in a cul-de-sac. That's revolutionary. Like, for your own little personal
That's a
section of a
fortress.
cul-de-sac?
Yeah.
Well, we can block
Fortress
it
is
off. Have a
solid.
big
We should
block
build a
party
moat.
back there. Yeah.
Build a moat.
Oh, that's even better.
Cul-de-sac.
That's even
That's
better.
a
We
moat.
can park on the street and just boat across to our
Gondolas.
house.
We'll have
We
gondolas.
were talking about
Gondolas.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
even
have
better.
gondolas, Yes. Little
That's even
Italy.
better. Having the
Inglewood.
gondolas.
Or
We
Little
can have
Venice.
in the background. See it all
the grand
come full
unveiling.
circle. That's it.
Yeah, we can fill it with prawn and stuff like that. That'd be cool.
Say, grow our own chronic. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, chronic piranha.
I'm all for that.
Here we go.
Oh,
I'm going to come to you, by the way, for all my, printing needs.
Yeah, printer
Oh,
and copier
okay.
needs,
Yeah,
DCS
you sounded
Technologies,
really
come see
sexy on
Jess.
the sexy when you said that.
I
too.
bet you were really disappointed when you saw me.
No, I am legally blind. But no, you're a wonderful looking man. You kind of remind me of.
King Kong Bundy?
Yeah, Bundy.
I was thinking Kurt Angle. He looks a lot like Kurt Angle.
I always get Vincent D'Onofrio in the
I
King
was
Kong.
thinking, I was
okay.
thinking
Yeah.
Butterball, the boxer. Or Butterbean. not
Butterbean.
Butterball. Butterball's a turkey.
He's got turkey on his mind again, darn it.
Sorry, I'm hungry. We did.
Why, thank you. And you're fine looking yourself. Everyone in the studio is looking good, I tell you what.
Absolutely.
Like, we got some good-looking
Black don't
people around
crack.
here.
Yeah.
That's not. I got nothing for that.
and drag and drag
nothing.
don't slag or something.
I have
don't know.
never heard that.
I just made it.
Don't
Sorry.
slag or snag.
Well, I snagged a few in my day.
I'm trying to think of a clever drag line.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Drag
fishing,
line.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fishing,
Yeah.
isn't it? You go
Drag
drag line.
Yeah, that's trolling, kind of.
well, I trolled too.
That's it.
That's
Or trawling.
trawling.
Something
Trawling
like
for
that,
dollars.
Yeah. Dragging
I'm gonna
for
think of one
dollars.
before
Yeah.
we're done.
DCS for all your copying and printing technologies. Ask
Yep.
Jess for
Yep, hurry up now before they hear this show and he's fired.
Yes.
Yep, you'll join the ranks of the unemployed.
and that's
Hey.
how I first came to the
Hey.
show.
Oh, you guys
By
got 3D
choice.
printers?
You right.
You got a 3D printer there?
No, I don't handle those. Thank you, though.
Not my department, but
Not that printing need.
Yeah.
Okay.
For all your other
You said
printing
all
needs,
For all your other printing needs.
all your two-dimensional
Yeah.
printing needs.
All your paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got tired of doing the butt with the Xerox machine.
You sell
thing,
paper
so I
like
wanted to try a 3D
Yeah.
printer.
Oh, you want to
Like
do a
Dunder
3D
Mifflin?
butt printer?
Like Dunder
3D
Mifflin?
butt printer.
No, it's more just like the printer and copy machines. It's a very unexciting job.
Okay.
But it's I help people out. And that's all that really matters
But
at the
it
end of the
makes
day.
for
That's
exciting
what matters
radio.
at the end of the
That's-
day.
It does. I help people out. I feel better at the end of the day, and it's a very good employment. But what I heard is you voluntarily left the job recently. Is that true?
Yeah.
What happened?
I was done.
He was done.
I was done with it. I was like, you know what? I don't need this in my life.
What were you doing?
Working at the government base. I was a government contractor.
Oh, okay.
So, crunching numbers for like the government.
No, I can understand that. And
Yeah,
Holly, what do you do when you're not doing jokes?
I'm not doing jokes. I'm working. I work at Myers. Hey, everybody at Myers Store 106.
Oh, cool.
Down in Inglewood.
Hey, Holly.
Hey.
Hello.
Yell at my Mr. Bill. Well, not Mr. Hi, Bill. My store director. Hi, Mr. Bill. Oh, no.
Mr. Bill.
Yes. Yeah, you'll like that. Things are going pretty good. I got that. I did that Wamedy Women in Comedy.
Oh, yeah.
That's
The
coming out
podcast,
today.
yeah.
I did Wiley's Sunday. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, was it a
Comics.
good show? I didn't stick
Yeah,
around
it
Sunday
was a
night.
good show.
I have to split.
It was a lot of people. What?
It's a great show.
Great show.
Oh, I'm sorry
Great.
if I disappointed.
No one was whispering terrible in the background.
Yeah. Now, how was the crowd? I came
Yeah, well,
in
they were
I came in Monday
WrestleMania,
and
and I heard.
What's
it
that?
Was, it was like a
Yeah,
lot of
Sunday
people.
was WrestleMania.
So there was a lot of-
okay.
Yeah, so.
oh.
We did set up a tag team match on the stage for a
Well,
while.
that helps. That helps.
A ladder match, that would be kind of dangerous. But
What?
That would be cool.
It was not another Pokemon. You're okay.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Pikachu.
I want Gamera.
Focus on
Somebody
the questions,
walked by
Holly.
and took a
Focus on the
Pikachu.
questions,
Look
Holly.
at you. Hey, baby.
Focus.
Pikachu, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Holly, we were
Flubba dub dub.
we were
Yep.
talking about you.
And Squirtle. Take
We
a
were
Squirtle.
talking about you earlier. How you're always you're always a ton of energy.
Yeah.
And you never know what's going to happen when Holly walks in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, kaboom.
We were trying to hook you up with Jess, but
That was
that's
the thing.
okay.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Unfortunately, my wife is
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
tougher than you.
Don't
Don't take it the
I
wrong
know. I'm
way.
not going to argue that.
She's a pretty badass.
we
Well, that's
we
cool.
weren't really trying to set Jess up with
No.
that. I think we were
That's a lie, folks.
Yes.
okay.
They,
it's a
they
lie.
tried to muscle me.
Now that sounded wrong. You have two guys
Been
trying to
that
muscle
kind of
you.
show. That's what happens when you sit on the side of the studio with Ed.
No, that's a wonderful person. He's been the nicest person to me ever, and there's a lot of wonderful people at Wiley's.
And I'm the best.
And
That's what
he's
she just
the
said.
best.
That's
And I'm
I
the
did
best.
hear that. I did hear
Yes.
that. I got that. And at Wiley's, that's yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
New
well,
year, new me. New year, new me.
And what's that number for Wiley's if you want tickets?
224 joke.
Thank you. 224-JOKE. Or you can go to
937-224-JOKE.
wileyscomedy.com. Yeah. And see Jess
he'll print
for
'em
all
up
your
for you.
printer needs.
You'll print them up. There you go.
Yeah, we're just advertising everything today. And what was the Meyer store?
It was 106.
106,
Yeah, thank
yes,
you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot
there you
already.
go.
I work here.
You're welcome.
Third shift, I haven't been to bed yet either. So.
Oh, so
You
that's
skipped
so that's
bed to
why you
come
got
here.
so much energy.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Well, I don't skip bed for everything. There's some things I love to have bed, but I'll skip it for comedy.
Well, yeah. You
And most of the time in bed, it is a comical thing. So.
Exactly.
Did you just say most of the time you're in bed it is a comedy?
Yeah, comedy of errors. No, not there.
That part.
Sorry.
Okay, no, we're okay. We're okay. So, how's comedy been going? You've been
Well,
How long
it's
have
pretty
you?
good.
How long you been
As a
performing
matter of
comedy?
fact, this Sunday will be 3 years.
What?
3 years.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I think that's Cobalt, the anniversary.
That's the
Cobalt,
Cobalt
or
anniversary of
plutonium.
comedy. So it's
Which you could have got me before you left your job there. At the
comedy
airport.
plutonium.
Plutonium.
Not like comedy gold. It's comedy plutonium.
Comedy
Won't plutonium eventually kill you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah.
will comedy.
Yeah.
So we're good.
But I'm 65, so I already got my half-life done.
Yeah,
well,
you've reached
touche.
your half life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if I want to be. Wait a minute. 5 5's 10, 60, 12, 130.
130.
Half-life?
Yeah.
Yeah,
130.
that's a little too far.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
If I can get myself 8, 10 more good years, I'm going to be happy.
Another 65 years, that means you're due to live through another black president.
Yeah.
Touche.
Yep.
Like, I want to be gone when that happens.
Snoop Dogg. Snoop
Damn it,
Dogg,
I wanna be
Snoop
gone.
Dogg, Snoop Dogg. I want Snoop Dogg. I vote for him.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, speaking of black presidents, right? I was on YouTube a couple days ago, and I saw where Richard Pryor did a 1977 skit on Saturday Night Live about black president. And I had never seen it
that.
before. I was like,
Wow,
wow, so ahead of their time. You know what I mean? And it was
that
so
was Richard Pryor.
funny.
He was always ahead of his time.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Yep.
I used to work at this is back like in high school. I was working at it was called Mr. T's. It was an auto place where you put in CDs, the CB radios and the vinyl roofs and that. And it was all black guys working there. So I used to go over to the house and listen to Richard Pryor albums when they first came out. And that was some pretty intense stuff. He was funny. I mean, he is funny.
Yeah.
That stuff. That was some good stuff. I love him and God, like Jonathan Winters.
Oh yeah.
Tim Conway.
Jonathan Winters is from Dayton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Dayton.
Well, was from Dayton.
None of those guys are putting out a lot of new stuff lately, though.
Yeah, I know. They've kind of kept quiet lately.
Yep.
But you would think there'd be so
waiting.
much for them to.
Just waiting.
Yeah.
You gotta wait. Richard Pryor's son's putting stuff out and sucking.
Yeah.
Y'all haven't heard about Mason Pryor?
I have not.
No.
Mason
On Apollo?
Pryor.
Yeah, his
No.
kid. Yeah, goes on Apollo and just like eats one.
Oh my. You know who's from Dayton in the Marvel Universe?
What's that?
Bruce Banner. He
Yes.
was born in Dayton, Ohio.
Was he?
Yep. We should have like a
According
special.
to the comic book.
Yeah, according to
Oh,
the comic
okay,
book
okay.
thing. You let,
Not the person that plays him, not Mark Gruffalo.
All that
Right.
Mark
But,
Ruffalo.
For Fluffalo.
Yeah.
Fluffy.
Fluffy
Yeah,
Fluffalo.
I always screw his name
that
up.
word.
Fluffy Fluffalo. Yeah.
Fluffalo.
Did I mistake for a curse word? It was trying to get the collar off
Well,
the
I thought
line.
it was, my cheap radio in my car. I was like, God, he just talked about press. It sounded like you needed to duct tape that button down.
So did he
Yeah,
work? Did
yeah.
Dr. Banner work at Wright Pat, or where else would a radiation scientist work at?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It was
Gamma
actually in the west in Nevada. Is where
Ponderosa?
the gamma ray explosion
Oh, yeah.
happened.
So he was just born in Ohio.
Yeah, he was
and then
just
he
born
headed,
in Dayton,
headed
Ohio.
west.
But we
Had an
can-
abusive father. Long back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We can have
See,
a
I don't
Bruce
know all
Banner
that
day.
stuff.
We can have close the Oregon District out and have green beer and wear green face paint and stuff. And that's St. Patty's Day, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
sure
I was
is.
gonna
Okay.
It
say,
sure
Well, never
is.
mind.
There you go.
We've
We already do that,
done
Holly.
that.
Yeah.
So
We already
just-
do that, Holly.
So you just call it something else.
We
in
only
your head,
have
nobody
new
worry
current
about it.
news on this show, Holly. New current events. Okay,
Well,
we've already
my-
got that.
Hey,
Exactly.
let me
We need
shake
fresh
that-
ideas,
Shake
Holly.
that brain cell around. Oh,
Fresh ideas here.
You're down to the last one now.
Oh, not even that much.
Fresh
Oh, okay.
ideas. We came up with Fuckload earlier today. Fresh, innovative, new ideas
Yes.
on the life. with
Visit
Don Smith.
upload.com
Fuckload.
Upload.
for all your
45 shares of stock.
I'll take a biggin. That's the slogan.
Is that coming, boy?
Yeah. How many you need? Upload.
We only got 12, so you're going to get what we got.
My
Yep.
boyfriend gave me a upload last night.
Here we go. Get ready for the button.
Yep. Oh yeah. I'm poised and ready to strike at that button at any moment.
Poison, ready?
Poisoned and ready to slice. All right. I think we're going to have to take a little break. What kind of
There we
music you
go.
like? Yeah.
You know what? I'm feeling some Pottersfield. You got any Pottersfield lined up?
I
on that?
tell you what. Here we got some.
Mr. Potter.
Tupac?
If there's one thing that's true about wrestling fans, it's how much they like to talk about wrestling. Join Aaron Lopez and Ben Norsworthy for the Top Rope Wrestling Podcast.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Tune in every episode and be ringside as these two break down all of the big matches in the world of professional wrestling. Brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
Panther.
All right, we are back. I almost missed it, but we're back
Again.
It's
Hello.
been that kind of show today, Jess.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, as guest co-host, you should be on the ball here,
Gotcha.
throwing it back at you.
All right.
Ed's
spread-
over there, so he doesn't
spread
know
the
what
blame.
it is. You're sitting right next to me.
I
Yeah,
can
you're
see
the-
you have the newest board I have ever seen
It's fantastic.
in the history of radio. I mean, what does- that's
Exactly.
gotta be-
Everything's digital. You know.
It looks like what they launched the Death Star with the bright yellow buttons and get at the fire. If you people could see this is definitely 1970, late 90s, late 70s.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Impressed.
It's nothing but the best
for you.
We are back on the Life Radio Show. I'm here with me and We've heard it. Yeah.
Put some respect on my name.
Yep. Ed John is here.
Thank you. All three of y'all.
All three of y'all. What?
All three of y'all.
Yeah. Along with Jess Cordery and Holly Shock.
Yeah, the show's called 3.5 Men.
She did well. There we go. We're there.
We're there. That's the name of this show.
We're there.
I'm writing that down because that's the name of this episode.
It's a bingo.
It's a bingo.
Knew where I was going with that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Great movie, by the way.
Yes, it is.
I didn't like all of his, but that one was good.
Don actually made a transgender joke earlier today.
You did?
Yeah.
Which one?
About the trivia.
That was me? I thought that was you.
There was a sign out. There was a sign out here. You passed it when you walked in.
Actually, it's up on the window there too.
Yeah, and it says LGBTQ
it's facing the other way.
TA or whatever those letters are,
yeah.
and it says they're having a trivia night. And Don was like, "I hope the questions are open ended because those folks aren't good with multiple choices."
That is not what I said. That was Ed that said that. So. Just
now,
for anybody down the
hall.
They
said the answer's A, but I identify with D.
Yeah.
It's all what the answer identifies as.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You got. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Dayton's got the Oregon district.
Okay.
Tokyo's got the Origami district.
Okay.
And San Francisco's got the Orifice district. Ask and ye shall receive.
Wow, I just got that.
Yeah.
That just clicked. Just clicked.
Yep. Last time I was in San Francisco, I actually rode a ferry out to a penal colony because I went on a tour of Alcatraz.
Yeah. Hayden Ashbury. While we're talking about San Francisco, Hayden Ashbury is the spot. Did you go to Hayden Ashbury?
I did not.
You guys been to Hayden Ashbury?
No.
Oh, you should check it out. It's like the real hippie side of San Francisco. Janis Joplin and all them used to hang out, live down there. Jimi Hendrix.
I remember wanting to go so bad. I wanted to go to Woodstock too, and two of my friends went, and my parents wouldn't let me go, which now after thought was probably a really good idea that they didn't let me go. But yeah, I had friends who moved over to.
Have you ever gone to Bonnaroo?
No.
You got to go to Bonnaroo. Bonnaroo is like the new Woodstock. It's in Tennessee every year.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like
I might like to do that.
They moved it to Tennessee.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been going on for 17 years now.
Huh.
You realize Deliverance was filmed in Tennessee, right?
That was Georgia, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, clear they're touching each other.
Yeah.
They're touching each other.
Oh, they were definitely touching each other.
Touching each other.
The one guy took an arrow for it. Because they were touching
Old
each other.
Ned Beatty.
Yeah. Well, he got speared. He didn't take an arrow.
Check it out.
And Deliverance
Merely
from
a flesh
evil.
wound.
Amen.
Check it out.
Yeah, just a big
Yes,
sock.
thank you very much. I will.
Oh, yeah. All about spreading the love.
Oh,
Spread
wow.
that love. Spread too much love, I'll sue you.
That's like Tennessee for that kind of place. Just doesn't seem like it would. I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
It's in a huge field. It's kind of detached from everything else. Like, it's a great spot. It's a
That's
huge
Tennessee.
farm.
Yeah.
Other than
Kinda
Memphis.
detached.
It's a
pretty much
huge
the
farm.
They got a 70-foot statue of Tennessee Tuxedo down there too.
Tennessee tuxedo.
That's an old reference.
Yeah, the
That's a cartoon show.
Oh,
On the
okay.
Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
Yeah, and
Going back to
Tennessee.
squirrels.
missed that one altogether.
We're back to squirrels. We're back
Yeah,
on squirrels.
that super chicken.
Hey, Rocky, you
George's
like people
Jungle.
around.
Yep, no, I missed that one. I didn't see the Tennessee
that was
tuxedo.
Don. Was that Don Adams did the voice? Wasn't it? Tennessee Tuxedo.
I don't know.
You
We all
got
old
me
as
on
hell.
that.
Yeah.
My nerd R's doesn't go that deep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
Nerd
hell
on.
you say?
that was
You were
that.
calling Pokemon characters.
Yeah,
You
that was.
deem yourself the
Yeah,
authority.
you're the one that came out with a Squirtle. and you're saying,
I have tons of
You're the
useless
self-appointed-
knowledge.
Oh, how about Yu-Gi-Oh?
Pokemon
You know
authority.
Yu-Gi-Oh pretty good.
No, I only know their cards. That's all I can
Ah.
say is that there are cards. I know nothing else about that stuff.
okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry.
That's all right. Well, our resident nerd has let us down.
Yeah, all I know about Yu-Gi-Oh, I read in the Bible.
Not
so.
nearly as many times as I've let down my wife.
Yeah, on multiple levels. Okay.
multiple.
All right. A man was injured. We're going to hit some news just in case, just in case people need to know what's going on there.
Okay. Now
A man was injured north of Anchorage, Alaska, after a moose that he had just kicked stomped his foot in return. KTVA-TV reported that the man escaped major injuries in the encounter Thursday with the moose and her calf. State Department of Fish and Game spokesman Ken Marsh said, "It sounds like the moose were on the trail. In this case, it just sounds like the guy was trying to go through them. That's never a good idea." The two moose left the area after the man had his foot stomped, said Alaska Trooper spokeswoman Megan Peters. Peters said, "I'm not a biologist, but as a lifelong Alaskan, I would advise people not to go around kicking moose."
Kicking moose?
Don't go around kicking moose.
He's probably doing that Alaska moonshine or something, too. I'll kick this moose.
I'm going to kick me a moose.
I don't like you. I don't like Bullwinkle.
He said Megan Peters.
As soon as I said Peters, you were out of that story altogether.
Oh, you're like,
hey, there we go.
Who in the right mind knows?
Kicking Peters. That's right.
Yeah, married to Richard Peters, yes. The whole Peter family.
Did you say that moose kicked his Peter? Is that
Man went to Sharon Cox. What?
The big Peter family get-together every year. They gather all the meese.
What do you call a pack of mooses?
Dangerous.
This sounds like a horrible bar joke, but it's a question.
Would that be a
I
herd?
used to smoke a pack of Camels, but...
Well, no, because you said two mooses, right?
Two moose.
Two moose. So is there no
moose
plural?
is
Is that
plural.
the plural?
Moose
Is that
is
the
plural of moose, yes.
Two moose. Oh, Yurik, I knew him well.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I see this guy walking through a herd of moose.
Yeah.
All right, and he kicks one.
I think it is a herd, actually.
And all that happens is he gets his foot stuck.
Well, it wasn't a herd. It was a moose and her calf.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was two.
So
Better
it was
seen
just
than
two.
not heard.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, moose. You got a gaggle of geese.
No, I don't.
You got
A murder of crows.
A murder of crows.
a depression of comedians.
Yeah. What else we got?
I don't know.
Well, who in the right mind thinks to kick an 800-pound animal who has horns as big as a person? What do you have to be on?
Do you remember when I was talking about white people problems? Yeah. This is another white person problem.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed they didn't give a name, because somebody that does that needs to be identified nationally.
Olaf or something, yeah.
Olaf Svensson.
Well, he's in
the
Alaska
moose
for
kicker.
a reason.
The moose kicker, yes.
He's exiled to
He's
Alaska
the moose
for a reason.
whisperer.
Yeah.
He's right up there with the lady with the theft on her record, applying
to work at the jail.
Yeah.
That sounds like the whole state's on the wrong side of the fence.
Yep. So don't kick moose. That's
kick moose.
The lesson of the day.
Brought to you by, was that Sharon Peters or Wendy Peters? What was her
Megan.
name?
Megan
Peters.
Sharon Peters, yes.
Yeah, Sharon Peters. I knew her. And her sister Fonda. Hi, I'm Fonda Peters.
And the cousin.
You are.
And cousin Layla.
All right. The mystery of a tiny, I can't do this one.
Tie-dye?
The mystery of a tiny skeletal mummy that has captured the public's imagination and baffled scientists for years may finally have an answer. The body is just 6 inches long and likely a fetus. However, it has a skeletal structure. This is not a terrible. It has a skeletal structure that appears to be that of a 6-year-old child, since the mummy had 10 pairs of ribs instead of 12 and an elongated head. Some believed it to be an alien. But DNA tests confirmed that the skeleton, nicknamed Atta, is discovered. This is boring.
Oh, you know what, though? I just, honest to God, I read this. They said the reason when you see, like, the Egyptian pictures of, like, all the kings and the queens have the long and elongated heads, it's because they kept it in the family. They didn't want anybody. They thought anybody that wasn't royalty.
That's how it happened.
Yeah, so that's how it's happened. I forget the name of the disease.
Well,
that's where that phrase comes from. Yeah,
Conehead syndrome. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they come from France, is what I've heard.
Tang.
I spit on your pyramid.
Yep. That was kind of the boring story there. I apologize for that.
Well,
Let's move on.
That'd be kind of not a very scary movie with a little teeny mummy. You can just kick him.
Yep. The mummy returns. Kick it again.
Stop that! I'm dangerous.
Yep.
Baby Groot.
Yeah, I don't know. Chucky was pretty. He was pretty vicious.
Yeah.
So who knows? A 6-inch long mummy could do some damage.
Yeah.
You don't even see it coming.
Hi.
Oh, no, right.
Fight the demon.
Stupid human.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Yeah, keep your 6-inch mummy clean.
Well, you put him under wraps, and then he's safe.
Put him under wraps. That's a good one.
Put him under wraps.
That's a good one.
Well, that way you don't see it coming.
Yeah.
Well, we broke Ed earlier. We just broke Jess.
That would be Mr. Toot Toot Common.
You just have a tootin' common.
Yeah, that's beans.
Punxsutawney Phil. We'll move on from
Okay,
Punxsutawney Phil is a wanted groundhog. Pennsylvania sheriff's officer has put up a wanted poster for Phil. The handlers of the groundhog a couple months ago said the funny rodent called for 6 more weeks of winter after seeing his shadow. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says that expired a few weeks ago, yet a spring storm brought more snow to the northeast. Let's see. Corporal Scott Martin tells WBRE TV that he created the poster and placed it on a wanted wall because he is now sick of snow in the spring. The poster claims Phil is wanted for deception. Phil is described as having brown and gray hair, brown eyes, and sharp teeth. Records dating to 1887 show Phil has predicted more winter 103 times while forecasting an early spring just 18 times.
He's under the witness protection program now. He's wearing bunny ears in Duluth.
Or wheels. We put wheels on Punxsutawney Phil. There was a squirrel earlier. You missed it.
Oh, what was the squirrel about?
The squirrel was caught in a trap and lost both of his front paws, and so somebody in where was it? It was
Turkey.
Batman Turkey.
Batman
Turkey.
Batman Turkey.
Batman Turkey.
Where are you from?
Yes,
Batman.
Yep, I'm from
We said that too.
Oh, you said that already?
Yeah.
Oh shit! We need new.
Well, you know what?
We need
That must
new
have been
material. Holly.
take you
when I
anywhere.
got within 7 miles. That's when the reception got really good.
Before that, you
Yeah.
didn't hear about the
You
squirrel.
were battling the Stones there
the
for a while.
squirrel's
Rolling
name was
Stones.
Caramel. by the way.
Caramel?
Yep. So Punxsutawney Phil and Caramel are now both the only wheeled
And it's-
rodents.
I'm sorry, in this
Front
day and
legs are
age,
caramel
if you're
chewy
really
goodness.
counting on a rodent to predict your weather, your future, you got problems. I mean, tell us about the black community.
It is. It's so racist because it's like if this animal comes up from the ground and sees a shadow, which happens to be black, then we're going to have 6 more weeks of bad weather. Oh, if he saw black, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
Aw. Now that you said it that way.
I mean, you got to think about it. You got to.
I
totally
know.
sound
Now
like
you
I have
said
an
it that
agenda.
way,
Don't
no.
I sound like I totally have an agenda.
Not
But
at all, Ed.
No, that's true.
No. What's the most dangerous condition to drive in?
Black ice.
Black ice.
Sex while I don't know.
Well,
For me.
well, never. There's she. Yeah, she can
Well,
pop me there.
unless there's a whiteout, Ed.
Oh.
Good one, Don.
Oh,
I didn't
no.
expect you to serve another one up.
This is terrible. This is
I didn't
terrible.
expect you to return that serve.
Yeah, I didn't either. I just
Because Don, if it was a whiteout, he would be using chains on his tires.
That's very good. That was a good,
and
good
the
tag.
black eyes.
That was a good
Oh,
tag.
black eyes.
That was a good tag.
Texas tea. Oh, wait a minute. That's Beverly Hills.
Black iced tea.
That's what you
Here's
eat
a
on.
He
little
is.
story
He's a
about a
rapper.
man named
No,
Bill.
black eyes.
I'm a rapper now?
No, iced tea.
You're a mini mummy rapper. We'll call you mini mummy.
Well, he's an actor now too.
He's an actor. Right.
People just walk
A
by.
He's
good
good.
actor though. Surprisingly
Yeah, he's
good
really
actor.
good.
Yes,
I-
yes.
Surprisingly good. I was like, okay.
He's on Law and Order, right?
I believe so.
I was going to say SUV.
SUV. he's on the SUV.
Yeah, Law and Order SUV.
Let's go. Let's do
So
it.
where are we?
I don't know. You were on the
I
rundown.
believe I served.
We're
you
talking
on the-
news.
Okay,
We're talking
okay.
about
Back on the
Alaskan-
news.
He-
Back on the
Alaskan
news.
mummy
Okay.
mooses.
You really
Alaskan
can't talk.
mummy moose.
Yeah, we're on the.
Alaskan mummy moose.
This is my favorite dessert.
What do you call a mummy's father?
Whoa. What?
Daddy.
Daddy.
Got a mummy and a daddy. That was cool.
What you be pulling
Wouldn't
around
that be the
about?
mummy's partner though?
You're right. That was the worst.
Because if it
joke.
was the mummy's father, it'd be grandpappy.
You're right. You're
Oh,
right.
my God.
Hold on.
Okay,
Yeah, moving on.
Crews have replaced a telephone pole in Providence, Rhode Island that was being held together by duct tape. WJAR-TV reports the pole was split in two several weeks ago when it was struck by a truck. It was
didn't kill a duck.
Well, Dr. Seuss is the one that hit it.
On page 3.
A crew with National Grid used tape to hold the pole together, and a supervisor with the utility deemed it safe for the short term. Permanent repair was scheduled for next week, but the pole was replaced Friday after a resident expressed concern about its safety, apparently not trusting its duct tape.
Well, you know what's dangerous about that? Because that pole, that state's so small, it would take out a third of the state if it fell over.
Well, they say when struck by a truck, fix it with a duck.
If a duck can drive a truck,
If a duck can drive a truck,
and let it work.
Yep, now's the time to say "fupload," and everybody's going to...
Fuckload.
It might get stuck.
got a duck
Yeah,
load
that's the
with a
word
fuck
of the day.
load. Oklahoma, where the sun goes, dashing on the rain.
Mail time. Fuckload.
I'll take
Daylight
it.
coming, we want a fuck load.
Oh, okay. We got...
I mean, in the hood, do they duct tape things? Where I'm from, the country, the good old boys where the men are men and the sheep are afraid.
Yep.
It's duct tape to make to fix everything, and if it's supposed to move, it's WD-40. So where you guys are from, is that the same thing?
Yeah, you see duct tape.
Oh, yeah.
You see duct tape.
WD-40
I
comes
see
good.
duct
lot
tape
of things.
See
holding
duct tape.
bumpers on cars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I've seen duct tape holding engine blocks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen duct tape holding the hoods down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
So I mean,
Oh.
it's pretty. I would not have any complaints if there was a pole.
I
with
mean,
duct
but if
tape.
it's holding a pole that holds electricity,
Yeah.
That's telephone.
Yeah.
the same thing, right?
Yeah, you should use
Well,
electrical
it's a
tape.
telephone pole.
Telephone
'cause,
pole.
I mean, I'm sure they
Telephone
run
pole.
the electrical wires up
Yeah.
there, too.
Oh, that's
So,
a good
I mean,
point.
Unless they're
Yeah.
buried. They
No,
could
they
be
want a little
buried.
bit
They
more
just run a
duct
bunch.
tape. You want a
Not
little
in
bit
Rhode
more
Island.
duct
Right.
tape.
Not in Rhode Island, yeah.
They just run a bunch of orange extension cords across the state. That's what they do.
Yeah. It only takes two 50-footers and they're good. The whole state's covered.
Touche.
Someone kicked the cable out.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It's in Rhode Island. That pole could have fallen over and just knocked out the grid for the entire state. That's just that one pole is all that served that state. So,
That damn squirrel would do it.
yeah, well, he's on wheels. What do you expect?
Yeah, you're right. Ding, 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 ding.
That's what he needs with those wheels. He needs one of those little bicycle
Yeah.
bells that ting ting when the squirrel's running by. It's a road squirrel.
Put train wheels on so you can go down the tracks.
Yep. Yeah, they'd have to be spread out pretty far, though.
Yeah, that'd be painful.
Yeah.
And
And moving on.
Next batter.
An activity that was the subject of condemnation 5 years ago is supposedly making a comeback, and that is snorting condoms up one's nose.
Oh, yeah.
The condom
White people
snorting.
There is
I knew that was coming.
no black
Yeah,
kid
white problem. You're
is-
exactly right.
is snorting a condom at all.
I
No,
would hope
no black
not,
kid. I promise.
I could make a really bad statement there, but I'm not going to. The condom snorting.
I'm waiting. That's not a black people problem.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The condom.
It's not.
I know. I agree with you.
It's nice to know I'm not the
I
crazy
agree
one
with
today.
you, but I don't want to say the reason because that's going to be really bad.
I'm going to have to go to
It's not a black
confession.
people problem.
The condom
taking
snorting
Don.
challenge, as it is called, requires participants to video themselves snorting an unrolled condom up one nostril and pulling it out through the mouth. Although the activity was first reported back in 2013, it's apparently returned, unlike other bizarre forgotten internet fads from that era, like planking, Tebowing, owling, and vadering, which half of that I don't even know what the heck it is. Stephen Enriquez, an educational specialist in Texas, told San Antonio station KABB that condom snorting is coming back because the extreme activity can help teenagers make a name for themselves on social media. Because these days our teens are doing everything for likes, views, and subscribes, Enriquez says, as graphic as it is, how is that graphic? It's just dumb. We have to show parents because teens are going online looking for challenges and recreating them because they can't come up with their own condom snorting challenges.
We could give them a new challenge just for fun.
I think they're challenged enough.
Well, what you do is you take 2 condoms, and you kind of stick one up your nose.
Sounds
have
like
the other one out
experience
the back
coming
of your
into play.
pants. You go, hey, guys, look how I did this one.
There you go.
Somebody
would try it.
I know.
Somebody would try it.
Somebody would try it.
Yeah, that's
white people problems.
That's white people problems.
Those are white people problems.
Absolutely.
That's
the magnum of
no
that
black
situation.
Is going to video record themselves with a condom up their nose like evidence. Like, then you can't even lie about it. You can't even lie your way out of it.
God, yeah, everybody films everything now.
Yeah, pretty much. All the time.
All the time. 24/7.
We might even be being filmed right now.
Well, that's
and
cool.
we might even be being recorded right now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What if we were
And
broadcast?
they're going, why are we waiting?
I would hate to be a
broadcast
white
over the
parent right
radio.
now.
What's that?
I would hate to be a white parent because you got your Tide Pods are getting missing. Your condoms are disappearing. Like, what the hell? What? What's going on?
Apparently kids don't want to do laundry and they want a brother. They want a little brother or sister running around.
That's
so
crazy
they're snorting
to me.
all their kids.
That's so crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, the Tide Pods, I just don't understand at all. I mean, baby, hide them from babies because,
So you kind of understand the condoms.
No.
You see
well, you
a
can
lot
still
of the
use
condoms.
I
the
don't
condom.
understand the Tide Pods at all, but the condoms,
But the
You can
get
still
that.
use the condoms. They're not destroyed, I don't think. You just have to wash that crap off of it.
I just roll it back up. It's still good lubricant.
It's still good. It's still good.
Once you pull it through,
little snot.
it's
Like
good
some
to go.
kids showed up at school like, look what I can do.
Yeah, and somebody said,
Show
that's
and
cool,
tell?
let me try.
Show and
That's-
tell.
Look what I can do.
This is where we are now.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to be taking care of us one day.
I wouldn't count on it. You are frozen in space.
Because
Ed.
I
You're just-
can't understand. Like as a kid,
Uh-oh.
none of us did anything that stupid as a
Smoke
kid.
cigarettes.
Like smoke. I mean, yeah.
Jerry's still
Yeah.
out on that.
Weed.
I'm just saying, like a
Okay,
condom.
most
up your
of
nose.
us
Beer.
yes, did not do something that
What's the
stupid.
equivalent of doing something like that though? And like,
Huff and paint? I
Like-
don't know. Huff and
Oh,
gas.
I mean,
That
doesn't
paint
even do
fumes are
that.
going to get up your nose regardless. If paint fumes are in the house, they're going up your nose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
But
no,
a condom,
people did that on purpose to get high, but I don't see how a condom gets you high.
But I get it. But
Well, you know, even for a
know.
while, for a short while, a couple years ago, it was the thing to go into the stores, a bunch of kids, and then run by the dairy and take a gallon of milk and splash it on the ground and then break it. And we had some kids running through. This guy went, boom, the second it hit.
I just want to know
Yeah.
if that's going on. If that's going on in regular people's houses, right? Regular kids are doing that shit, right? That
What
stuff.
are the dumb kids doing?
No, what's that crazy 13-year-old in the White House doing? Barron, Trump's kid. What's
Oh,
he
my
doing?
God.
What's he doing? Like he's taking like vetoes and wiping his ass with them. What's he doing?
He's drooling. I think he's just drooling.
He's got the
at
reparations act.
He's snorting. He's snorting his dad's spray tan.
Like what's he doing? If that's going on in regular houses, what's going on? What's little Barron doing? And he
Little
already looks
Barron.
crazy. He looks crazy.
Well, there you go.
Nothing
You know
like
what?
going after a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Go get
kid's
him.
Crazy. Yo, the kid's crazy. The kid's crazy.
Are you talking
kid's
about
taller
that
than you,
and
by the
Trump
way.
like that?
The kid's crazy.
That and Trump? Yes.
As sad as it makes me, we're going to have to get off the air.
Oh, no, because we got
We
a
got
lot more
problems in
flub
America.
bluffing.
I
Whatever that
know.
is.
I know. A lot more fup-loading to do.
Fupload.
Fupload.
Hashtag Fupload.
Yep.
Oh,
Hashtag
yeah.
Fupload.
Let's do a 12-hour charity for uploading.
Yeah. We'll do it
Yes,
12
there
hours.
are
We're
many
just
people
gonna
that can't
take over the
fupload.
I think we
airwaves,
own that word now.
and we're going to fupload all day long.
We'll all get tats right now. Let's go right and get tats.
Yeah.
Upload tats.
Fupload.
All right, Holly, so good to have
It's
you.
wonderful. I
It's
had a
always
blast
pleasure.
today. I want everybody to come down here tomorrow and do it. Can we?
We won't be here tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Just confuse everybody if we show up.
Well, okay. Well, I mean,
I mean, you can come on in.
Come on
there might
down.
be a show going on. You can come
oh
on in.
boy. I mean, I enjoyed you.
Thank you.
I enjoy everybody, and I love all you
One of the
guys.
few
You
people
guys
to
are
say that.
so good.
Ed, Jess, thanks for you guys did a fantastic job as co-guest
Thanks as always.
co-host.
So did you.
Today.
As host.
I appreciate it.
Co-host the Barbarian.
Thanks for having us.
You're mid to
Okay,
fair.
now that we're done kissing everybody's butts,
Fair
we're
to
gonna go
middle.
ahead.
We're gonna upload.
Yeah, we're gonna upload on out.
3.5
here.
We're going to be
Yeah.
regular races again.
Yep.
Once we get out there.
It's just 3.5 men uploading like
speak
we
for me.
normally do on Wednesdays. It's Upload Wednesday.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week for another round of fun. This has been the Life Radio Show on WWSU 106.9 with your host, Don Smith. The Life is also available in podcast form on iTunes, PodBean, Stitcher, Spreaker, Blueberry, and YouTube, as well as on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Be sure to like The Life radio show on Facebook, and if you have any comments or suggestions, email thelife1069@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Now get out there and enjoy some live comedy this week. You can check out wileyscomedy.com for all your upcoming shows.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.